Imagine going to bed one night and finding out the next day that your property is now worth 25% less than it was the day before, not because the roof collapsed, not because there was a fire in the building, but due to the fact that a developer could not offload its remaining inventory and decided to slash prices. That is exactly what happened here just a couple days ago on May 31st, where the Lower Mainland saw the very first condo flash sale. You may have seen some of these ads that were floating around on your social media, but there was a developer here in Surrey that decided to have a one-day only flash sale of 25% off the remaining units. And 200 people took part of this, some camping out overnight to take advantage of this. And that just shows you the fragility of this current market that we are in here in Vancouver, and to show you the power a developer has over you. Could you imagine being one of these owners who bought a year ago or 6 months ago, and now they find out that the last remaining 70 plus units are marked down 25%? That is why pre-sales are continuing to be a risk, especially in the here and now. So we're going to dive into what exactly happened, how we got here, and how to safeguard yourself moving forward, whether you're looking perhaps to find a deal in a situation like this, or to safeguard your assets moving forward so that you are in control of your asset and not somebody else. I'm going to bring up here a shot of the sales center so you can see what I am speaking about. This was a shot and it was posted up here in a Facebook group called Only in Canada, and the contributor stated, "Condo market must be in trouble. When was the last time you saw a 25% discount sale on brand new concrete condos? Seen in Surrey, BC, the condo market was once so hot that greedy speculators resold flip resale contracts before they were even completed." And you can see here, this is a picture of the sales center, 25% off, one day only, May 31st, condoday.ca. So they coined it Condo Day. And over 200 people took part of this. And this contributor was exactly right. It wasn't too long ago, back in 2018, that you had to wait in line hours just to put yourself on a wait list for a unit. It got so crazy, in fact, that deposits were getting to be at 25% down, and it was auction style. It was no longer a pricing sheet. Developers wanted to see what you were willing to pay for these units. And now look where you're at. The first condo flash sale, 25% off. And I think this is something that's going to continue to happen. Developers are facing so many problems here. It's not just unsold inventory. They also have other products that are waiting to be launched or launching. Interest rates are very high, remaining units because the rental market has dipped, and we'll get into a little bit of that as well. Developers are forced now to take some drastic action, and with this 25% discount, it's not because they are doing this out of the goodness of their heart. It is more prudent for them to do something like this than to carry these units and continue to go into a deficit. For all these other people who bought into this development, because this development was quite large, there's around 700 units that had already been sold at this point, you now have a precedent where the most recent sales in this building are now at 25% discount, and actually a little bit more, over a 30% discount when you look at some of the numbers. And there's an article here on the Daily Hive, and what I wanted to show you here in terms of what this can do and why it can be quite devastating. It states that on Saturday, the discounted homes were offered at an average of $720 per square foot, significantly below the area's typical marketing price of around $1,125 a foot. So that is a 36% decrease. I know they said a 25% flash sale, but when you look at the average of what this particular building was doing, it was actually a 36% discount on average. And that is dire consequences for people who have purchased in those buildings. You've worked so hard, you've moved into here, and now your feet have been cut out from underneath you because the market that we're in, and because the developer just needed to get these units out and needed to move forward with a different project. And that's why pre-sales, and I have a video that I've highlighted this before, are very, very risky. And this is exactly what can happen, especially in these larger developments, where it can take some time, and then the developer is going to have to make some very big decisions in terms of how they want to offload the remaining inventory. There's also some stories of other projects in Vancouver where the price per square foot was almost cut in half from one phase to another. So this is very, very problematic. And with all these other units that are not selling, other developers are going to see that this was successful in some context, and it's going to continue to go. So you got to be very careful in this marketplace right now. So I want to go into this article a little bit more off the top here at the Daily Hive. And you can see at the heading here, nearly 200 people lined up for 25% discount on newly built Surrey City Center condos, with nearly all units now sold. And as we scroll down here, you can see that the developer in question here is Square 9 Developments, and they offered a deep discount on newly built condos in the Belvedere Tower project. By noon on Saturday, May 31st, 2025, when the doors opened and on-location sales began, approximately 200 people had lined up outside the sales center, with some beginning to queue as early as Friday. We've all seen people wait outside for concert tickets or at Best Buy for the new PlayStation arrival or Boxing Day sales. But this is the first thing that we've seen in the condo environment, and I do think it's a sign of things to come here. And if you're a buyer looking for an opportunity, this is pretty much the only type of opportunity that I would encourage someone buying a pre-sale unit, is waiting till the very end of a project when the developer has inventory that they can't sell and are forced to clear it out like this. In today's day and age, especially with the uncertainty of the markets even going forward another year from now, you're just putting yourself into a huge amount of risk if you are relying on a developer. There are other developers who are losing their projects completely. If you're lucky, they will give you back their deposit. There are other smaller developers that don't have those assets, and you can lose everything if they file bankruptcy. So be very, very cautious. But if you do see a deal such as this, do take heed to it. I thought it was a joke at first, but clearly this is something that was real. And for those who were able to get in, they got some great value to hedge against whatever is to come here further in this economy. In the article here, it says, upon inquiry, Good told Daily Herb Urbanize that is Monday afternoon, 2 days after the flash sale, 63 of the available 78 units had sold, with the remaining units still up for grabs. And you can see with some of the photos here, they had the wholesale center, they had the tents because it was raining out. People, despite the rain, still wanted to go out. And it's funny that in this picture here, actually, look out front, you can see that there are two separate open house signs. So despite all of this, people have units in this building on market. And how would you feel if you're trying to sell one of these units now, and you know at the same day that you're trying to run an open house, that your unit has just been undercut by 25 or upwards of 36% with this promotion? And again, as you scroll down, this was a big event. People are packed in here, and they even had the nice sold stickers on all of these units that were already completed. Keep in mind, there would still be 5% GST. They were not crediting that, but you could factor that in. Even with that 5%, you still were getting about a 20% discount with those items. There are some changes with the new GST, so I'm not sure in this article what the pricing started at. Usually when there are remaining units, they're not the ones that are quite advantageous. A lot of the ones that are left at the end would be higher price units, maybe some of the penthouses, sub-penthouses, ones with a different type of floor plan. The more entry-level ones are usually the first ones to get taken up in a pre-development, but there's no information in the article itself in terms of what was remaining, what were those price points. So this was very interesting real estate news, something that we haven't seen before, and I think it's something that we're going to continue to see more of. So if you have any questions about this, make sure you book a discovery call with me. All my information is in the description below. And be careful if you are looking for those pre-sale projects, but also keep an open mind that if you see some good opportunities, shoot me a message. I'd love to be able to help you out with that. In any case, I'll see you on the next one.